Ross, how strange was the interview and appointment process, particularly through that lockdown period?
It's the first time I've ever done an interview through Zoom, but the gaffer phoned me. I was on the phone for about 2 hours. Basically, he was one of the main reasons that sold the club, and obviously knew about the club, but himself really he was appealed to work with. So it was strange, but it's thankfully been worthwhile.
And you mentioned the fact that you'd had the jobs north of the border, but it must have been good to come back to something a little bit more local to where you live.
Obviously, it makes a massive difference. I'm 20 minutes down the road instead of an hour and 40, but it's good to get a change of scenery. You get sick of going to, there's 42 clubs in Scotland. I've been to 41 of the grounds. So unfortunately, I never went to Stirling Albion, but it's not a big miss.
Having said that, I'm guessing 1, 2, 3 overnights a season north of the border compared to 16, 17, 18 here.
That's right. You've maybe 4 overnights a season, but what you do here, you've obviously got the Friday before longer games, but the 20 minutes every day, you're saving. It's a better kind of all-round life. Good club to work for, and then you're getting a bit more family time as well. So
you mentioned you had some great times up there. I've seen the pictures of you with the trophy up at Killy. What's it like being part of a team that's achieved that?
It's brilliant. The semi-final was probably a better day than the final, to be honest, because they beat Ayr and Hampden was full. But just being successful, it's once you have a little taste of it, you just want more. So you just want to push on. It's a massive lift for the whole club, probably the full community as well. Just a wee bit of silverware at the end of the season, make it all worthwhile. And
coming here, having spoken to you before this, you just wanted to be here. It's something that you wanted to get your teeth into.
Yeah, I didn't think Dolly would ever leave. I think it's had a midlife crisis going up there, but it's been good, brilliant opportunity. So just hopefully I'm here as long as Dolly.
Watching the game from where we watch it, Ross, we see some horrific things and we see it from a distance. What goes through your mind when you're approaching an incident and you know that actually it's a little bit more than a knock?
It's hard, you don't really think about it. It just comes second nature. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is just make sure that there's nothing life-threatening. So you're looking, if nothing's life-threatening, then you want to assess whether can it continue. Stretchered off. It's hard. It just comes second nature. You don't really think about things until probably afterwards, and then you go, that's a lot more difficult than it should have been.
What's the worst one that you had to deal with, Ross, if you're able to say?
The worst one's probably head injuries. The bleeding, to try and stop bleeding and assess whether boys are got any sign of concussion or anything major underneath. You're my aim is to make sure the boy's safe, but all they want to do is stop the bleeding in place, so it's balancing it. Apart from that, most injuries are usually quite straightforward.
And your job, it's changed out of sight over the years. It's gone from a bucket and a sponge all the way up to you need to have the medical knowledge now. You're having to adapt all the time, aren't you?
Definitely. If you think you've learned everything, then you need to constantly go on courses, learn different things. Everything changes probably every 2 years, so you need to just kind of keep up with the times and push yourself, educational wise. And if you make yourself better, it should make the club better as well.
And a big part, you've mentioned this already, is the man management. Sometimes you've got to know the player, get to know the player and manage them so that mentally they're in a good place.
That's it's a physio job, but you're basically a psychologist, podiatrist, everything to the boys. So it's getting that relationship with the boys is the big thing, especially long-term boys, long-term injuries like Brennan. You need to know how they are. If you try to push them when they're mentally not right, you'll end up turning them. It could end up making them worse at the end of the day. So
Ross, superb, thanks for your time.